Good morning, YouTube. We're ready for another beautiful day here at Wickiup Knoll. Thanks for joining us for the next update on whatever's going on around here today. I'm going to start the morning doing some cob work on the pole barn. I made it to 4 feet high in the last video. You saw that. We're going to keep on going. This is my main project right now. I'm trying to get this thing done, at least the cob walls up, so we got that much more to go. Woohoo! For the most part, I've made it to about 3.5 feet the rest of the way around, so we're working on that in this video. This west wall where the dog door is, at the point where I'm going to start adding in a little decorative feature, so I'll get into that later today. And we also have a delivery coming today, so I'll be going down with the tractor to meet the truck and get a delivery. It's supposed to be the pieces for our future greenhouse build, so I'm excited about that. I'm also excited to continue this pole barn. Once this is done, we'll be able to organize our outdoor tools, which you see some of here. When the rain starts, I don't want our stuff to be out here anymore. I've got my saw and then tools. You can see we've had threats of rain the last few days, so we have to cover things every day to keep it out of the elements. So I'm really ready for things to have outdoor shed things, to have a permanent home in here. So we're working on that today. John is also going to get the lumber we need to frame in this space. This space will have a garage door on it. Honestly, did not think this was going to be a big enough opening. I didn't have that in my brain for some reason, but it's completely big enough for a garage door. Not to drive a car in, obviously, but to open up for a workspace. So that's what we're going to be doing. Hopefully in this video, you'll see some of that and whatever else we get into. And I'm going to get to it now. So I'll be checking back in a few minutes. Again, thanks for joining us. There's the chickens. They're waiting for me over there. And we're going to catch up in a few and see what else we get into. Okay, got the first batch done. Now we're getting ready for the second batch. You could see me maybe mixing this one and throwing big clumps over here. These big clumps are clay, so I always start pre-soaking those clumps in the next batch so that they break down real easy. I got to over here, which is very good. So we're cooking, moving right along this morning. And we just got the text saying that our delivery is on the way. Here's a sneak peek of my decorative project I'm working on later. Delivery's on the way. So we are going to go down with the tractor. We've got the forks on the front of the tractor. We're gonna go down there and get our delivery off the big truck. And this is gonna be very exciting for me because this is going to be the parts for our greenhouse build that's coming soon. So this is our future greenhouse structures. 3 pallets. The bottom one is 12 feet long. These were very, very heavy. That was the heaviest my tractor could have picked up. And strangely, they brought them on just a box truck. You could see in the last video portion that usually when I've gotten big things like this that I need to pick up on the pallet on the side, they bring like a flatbed or like a soft side, but we had to use the guy's Tommy gate to get out because this is 12 feet long. There's no way my forklift would have pulled that out and brought it to the ground without totally crashing it. So a little bit of ingenuity. Thankfully, the guy was willing to work with us there with his little lift gate on the back of his truck. And so this is our future greenhouse. It got some nice pallet wood in there too, some 2x6s and 2x4s, 12 and 8 feet long. And this is a VersaTube structure. We bought this. It's usually for garages, carports, and other shelters, but we bought the frame only. You can buy like the frame and the metal and everything. We bought frame only, and we're going to be using it to do our greenhouse that'll be subterranean. So we will be putting basically the roof and a little bit of the top of the wall onto or with some plastic greenhouse panels instead of the metal roofing. And we talked to the VersaTube company. I think they're out of Tennessee, and they designed a building that would support our plastic panels, our greenhouse panels that we'll be putting on there, and that it would be partially underground, subterranean. So we'll be anchoring it specifically to their instructions, and it should withhold, they take your zip code when you do this. So they do it for your wind loads and snow loads and all of that for the pitch of the roof. So I figured that'd be the nicest way to do it. It will have sort of a subterranean and hopefully a high tunnel effect to it. That's what we're going for. So it's going to be a minute before we get to that because, like I said, I'm super focused on getting that pole barn done right now. But it's here and it's on site, so we can do it whenever we get to it, and I'm very excited about that. So what you saw in time lapse took us a lot longer than the time lapse shows, so we're going to be eating some lunch and then getting back to it on the pole barn build. And there's Finley. He's waiting. He's like, what was all this ruckus? Hey Finley, how you doing, bud? How you doing, buddy? You're a good boy, aren't you? Yeah. Okay, we've had some lunch. John has gone to town. He's doing some shopping. I'm going to be cracking on with some cob. I'm going to try to make it along the rest of this wall. The north wall I'm still holding off on. John's actually getting lumber for this wall. I want to do some framing on the outside before I continue to go any higher on that one. But I'm over 4 feet on this side and approaching that on the other side. So that's exciting. Just wanted to mention this project that I'm getting ready to show in the next little section of this video. All the walls in here, this is gonna be a shed, right? A work shed. It's gonna hold things like wheelbarrows and gloves and just things like sawhorses and stuff that we don't want to sit in the sun or the rain and rot away. So all of these walls in here on the exterior as well as the interior will have some sort of framing. We've talked about the exterior framing, which you can see right here. Those framing members are going to be holding our ladders on the outside of the building. This one over here on the outside of that wall will be holding rakes and shovels and all that stuff, so that we can quickly get it and go into the garden area. The front wall over here, which is facing north, he's getting the framing for that. This one we decided actually just recently is going to house a fold up work table so that our things stored in here, we can fold down on a big hinge and with some legs and have a workspace that's, look, it's always in the shade. Isn't this great? So even in the heat, it's hot today. We're getting into late spring and we're fully shaded out here, which is so nice. So we're going to have a fold out workspace here. So every wall in here will have something going on it, except for this one. On the west side, this is the dog door wall, and there will be a dog house here for Zip and Ringo, and this door exits out into their run that we showed in other videos so that they can, you know, watch everything but not bother anybody. Ringo is sometimes a bully. So this is the only wall that doesn't have anything functional hanging on it, because we want it to be open for feed storage, for dog house, for dog access, all that stuff. So I'm going to do something decorative on this wall. I don't have windows in this building. My goal is to have it cool and dry, and I don't want to deal with windows. It's a shed. But I do want a little light on this side, and I'm going to achieve that by using wine bottles. We found some that are like yellow green, depending on the light. You can see different ones, different light. And I'm going to make essentially a vine in the cob and plaster relief that goes from about here, arches up, and then dangles back down to this side. And that vine will have leaves on it, and the leaves will be made of wine bottles. So I'm going to be, this next batch of cob that I'm doing right now, I'm going to be placing some of the first bottles in here so that it can make it looks like a little trio of leaves in here. I probably won't get this high this time, but I'll definitely, I'm at the stage where I can go this high and possibly one here. And then as it goes up, there'll be some pointing up as I go, and then it'll go into the ceiling area and then come down the other side. I'll have some leaves dangling. So really it'll just be just a basic vine with glass bottle leaves, and the light, when these are clean and not muddy from my muddy cob hands, the light will shine through this in a pretty way as the sun sets, because that is west. So I'll be working on that in the next section, and I will get back to you whenever it is time to show you this part. Alrighty, you could see what I was doing. Hopefully, I know it's getting late in the day and the light is right over there, so hopefully I'll try to show you a different angle. I put the bottles in. Of course, I haven't completely covered them. I'm not going to cover this side and the other side because the light will show through once it's not dirty. But I can only go so high because I don't want this area to slump. And the way the bottles are shaped, I want them to be positioned this way so that a stem can go up and join a vine, like right in here and here, and then there'll be a third bottle right about there when I get that high. So I need to let this row that I just did set up across there, and then I'm going to do another batch and keep going on around, and hopefully by the end of this day, when this is set up enough, I can come back in and build up in the middle so that they can't collapse in on themselves, and on the sides so they can be very sturdy. So as I get more into the final positioning of these, I'll be shaping the exposed glass to look like a thin leaf, kind of like a mesquite leaf. We don't have any on the trees right now. They've not come out again yet, but they're long and narrow. Kind of going for thin, narrow leaves because that's the shape of the bottle, thin and narrow, and light green, green yellow. So that's what we're doing. That's how I'm doing it. And then when these are cleaned, the light in the evening will shine through here, and there'll be a few different groupings of 3 bottles, maybe 5 bottles here and there along a little swoopy limb or vine on this wall. So I'm going to keep going. I don't believe I'll put any bottles on that end until I get to the next row. So they'll be slightly elevated above this, so it won't be in the same row. I don't want it to look, planned or deliberate. I want it to look natural. So that's what I'm going to go for. So these are the very first 2, the lowest hanging leaves on my future vine limb situation over here. So I'm going to keep on going and see if I can get any further. I'm going to keep going around that side as well on the cob. I'd love to finish an entire row around again today so I can be almost done. I can get that much closer to the very top, which is my big, big, big goal. All right, John is back. Woohoo! And he came bearing gifts. I got a Coke. Woohoo! Love a Coke. And he got the fence, or the gate. It's chain link gate's going to fit the post that he was setting in our little tree tunnel entrance to the North Valley, and he got all the lumber plus some more pallets. Woohoo! Love good pallets. It was a good day at Lowe's when you find the pallets. Everybody's happy and excited to see them. I have these dogs. They've been sniffing everything. And he also, so that framing is going to be for our garage door, and it's going to go in here. He's going to be working on that for probably the next video. Today I got to my shoulder high on this, and he also brought home this because we need it for our next day's work, because now this is so high it's getting awkward. This is a little step ladder platform thing. It's on its highest setting right now, but you can lower it down where you just step up on it, and then we can move it around, and it's about 4 feet long, so we can walk on it for a while we're doing cobbing here. I got pretty far. It's like I said, it's about up to my shoulder now, which is super exciting. I've got my stuff soaking for tomorrow's cob session, and then once we put on the lumber out here tomorrow, I'll be able to start on this wall, making it as high as the other one too. So we're very excited around here. I love that this is getting so high. It's looking totally different in here now. And I hope you enjoyed the progress that we made and all the excitement like I did. And if you did, please like it and subscribe to the video or subscribe to the channel. And we'll see you back here next Sunday for the next update at Wickiup Knoll.